Does this truly feel like global warming? Well, have you heard the phrase the Great Reset? How about you'll own nothing and you'll be happy? Well, let's talk about that today. So I've been watching a lot of content lately, and we do talk about cars because truly cars are the lifeblood of what we enjoy, and these are the things that we feel passionate about. And so when you hear these phrases being thrown around loosely, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, well, that might be okay by some people, thinking that, hey, this general globalization is good for all people kind, and it's all about the environment. It's all about keeping the planet healthy and happy. But in actuality, by saying you'll own nothing, which obviously is a very capitalist mentality in general, owning property, owning material, cars, houses, boats, planes, are all very capitalist. Now, this whole idea of globalism that a lot of people say communism, a lot of communists, so to speak. There's a lot of discussions that people throwing around the idea of this globalist mentality about, the Great Reset and the fact that we're going to get to a place where you own nothing. You will be basically run by the state. Everything will be taken over by the state. What the idea is there is slowly the masses will be enveloped by the few key stakeholders, and where the WEF is one of the big players in this game. Klaus Schwab is definitely front and center. And if you guys are looking around, just take a sniff around, look at what's going on in your country. I look at Canada, I look at the US, and I don't mean to get all political, everybody, but you can't help but ignore the fact that the people that are leading our countries are nothing more than puppets. There seems to be no way to get rid of them. And all these federal leaders just seem to continually skate around questions and concerns. They keep pushing laws, and they seem to be getting these laws passed. Now, I know here in Canada, there's supposed to be a due process. None of these things ever seem to get ushered or challenged. I mean, we have a minority federal leader that seems to be able to push all his laws and regulations through, and we continually pay more taxes, higher increased costs of living. Of course, energy costs are going up through the roof. And of course, naturally, we're just paying more out of pocket. There's more controls imposed on the general population, like myself, like you guys. I see that a lot going on south of the border here too, on the US side. It doesn't matter. Everybody I talk to will have nothing to do with the people that are in power today, but yet these people in power maintain that power. But during this whole crisis, this pandemic crisis, obviously there's been a lot of people gaining from that. And it's interesting to hear how some of these mass corporations, these billionaires, have quadrupled 10 times, 20 times, 100 times their net value, their net worth in this last term. Now, a lot of people are going to challenge me and say, well, that's just a conspiracy theory. And I'll be the first to admit, I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories, and I always throw them out. I dismiss them. I think they're garbage. But the unfortunate part is when all the big players in the globe with all the power come together at this meeting, WEF, with Klaus and the gangbangers, and those all get together, plan it, orchestrate it, and all these big changes come to fruition. That's no longer a conspiracy. That's actually becomes more of an agenda or a mandate. And so sadly, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting vastly poorer. And to own a car is becoming more and more difficult. To own a house is becoming more and more difficult. Look who's building these electric cars. Who started that plan? Tesla, right? Well, we know who owns that company. But it's not about selling electric cars. It's a communication, it's a data company. That person who started Tesla isn't about building cars. They're not competing with GM and BMW. They're building a data transfer business. They're just using that as a facilitation to continue to grow and take on more market share within the wealth of the planet. So that's one of the reasons why these electric cars, in my mind, are evil. It's the transition. It's the catalyst to further develop the wealth of the people at the top and flatten us out at the bottom. Now, I've heard there's been leaders together. There's been conversations that have been had already that spell out the fact that at the WEF level, that they're trying to pitch down to all federal leaders for them to start taking initiatives and take actions in each country by the country leaders to start saying, look, we need to take away vehicle possessions. We have to take over and take control of these issues that we're having with global warming and the environmental issues that we're starting to see across the globe with all of the things like the polar caps melting, like newer earthquakes, flash floods, mass fires. All these things that are going on are all created because of this problem that we are generating as human beings and basically destroying our planet. Now, none of us want to be on a planet that's ruined. We all want to have a place that smells nice, and grass is green, and everything's nice, but it's not about that. There's a different agenda going on here, and it's not about conspiracy theories. Look at the facts. All the big players come together, they start pitching these rules. It's going to be at a point very, very soon where we can't even afford to buy these cars. So, I do talk about this. I love cars. That's the passion. And I don't mean to get all political. I'm really not a conspiracy theorist. But I'd like to hear what you guys think about all of this. Is this a thing? Are we headed for this great reset? Are we in a place where they're basically saying, you'll have nothing and you'll be happy because we'll take care of it for you? We're going to take it, the whole globalization, where there's one central leader and they're going to take over the whole ownership of the entire globe. Again, seems like a vast, lofty goal, but when you have all the big players with 98% of the world's wealth come together, it starts to make you wonder. And then all of these other pieces that start falling into place really just start making sense. Anyway, didn't mean to get all political. I couldn't help but, I've been hearing a lot more talk about this lately. And again, as a car enthusiast, I can't help but think, what does the next 5, 10, 15 years look like driving the cars? Are we going to be continually forced into poverty where we have to sell our cars, where we can't pay for fuel, where we can't pay for energy, where we can't even afford barely to eat? Is it the idea of wiping out half the globe? I don't even know. I'm not here to say taking a hard stand. I'm just saying, look, I'm seeing a lot of weird things going on. I'm hearing a lot more conversation about this great reset, and it does have me wondering. And it does have me wondering what the future of driving the automobile looks like. It's a sad, sad state we're headed for, potentially. I'm going to keep on fighting the fight. I'm going to keep on driving the cars as long as I can. And you know what? That's what this channel is about. It's living the dream, living the car life, and just enjoying life to its fullest. I mean, that's all we have, right? I'm not a billionaire, and I don't think very many of you guys are billionaires. So let's just enjoy the little things that we can have an impact in our life. And that's enjoying the driving lifestyle. So I'd love to hear your comments down below. Do you think this is real? Do you think we're headed into a really, really chaotic world? Or maybe the other way, where there's a mass control and it's not chaos. It's, in fact, we're all controlled under a central body. I don't know. I'm not trying to be all profound and strange, and I'm not trying to veer off. That's just what I'm hearing. Things are getting really odd. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. And more importantly, if you as well really agree with the idea of just living the lifestyle, making the most of your life, please, again, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, they're giving it a good hit. You know what? Think of it this way. Use the attitude that you have that's building and developing and the thought of full electrification in the automotive industry, and use that passion and hit that subscribe button. Love to see you guys, hear more from you. And as well, also, you're definitely going to want to check out Russell Brand. You guys have all heard of him. Great actor. He's got his own massive YouTube channel. Literally just shunts me like there's no tomorrow. But basically, great channel, fun guy to listen to, great actor, and he talks a lot about that. You're going to want to check him out. He's got a great couple of recent videos that he talks about the Great Reset. So hope to see each and every one of you on the next one. We'll catch you real soon. Bye-bye.